Hello and welcome into this special edition RNN News Break right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below and hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. On today's RNN News Break, we talked about it a little bit on the ARCA Rewind show that came out yesterday, would have been Sunday night. About the Michael Self, Zane Smith incidents that happened at Salem Speedway Saturday night. 3 separate on-track incidents between the two of them, ending in both cars being destroyed and a heated infield discussion, shall we say, between the two of them. We were able to get interviews with both of them to give you both sides of this incident so you can decide for yourself who's in the right, who's in the wrong. Are they both in the right? Are they both in the wrong? That's up to you. So basically, the short version of what happened Saturday night, if you did not see it, early in the race, I want to say it was around lap 60-something, 70-something, Zane Smith turns Michael Self off of turn number 4. There was a little bit in the lap preceding that had led up to that, but that is the culmination of what happened there. Zane Smith turns Michael Self off turn 4. Michael Self doesn't hit anything, just spins around, comes back, I believe it was in 7th under the caution is where he cycled out after that. A couple restarts later, Michael Self turns Zane Smith for maybe a bit of payback in turns 1 and 2. Zane noses it into the inside guardrail and messes up a lot of stuff, gets a lot of damage, takes it behind the wall. That was basically the end of Zane Smith's night. But team got the car repaired enough that he got it back out on track and ends up wrecking Michael Self and himself as payback afterwards. So we will get into these interviews now. We'll start with Zane Smith. We were able to talk to him on Sunday, and we'll let you see his side of things, how he was thinking, where he's coming from on all this, and then you can decide for yourself. Is he in the right? Is he in the wrong? Is he neither? That's for you to decide. Let's take a look and see what Zane Smith had to say. And we're now joined by Zane Smith, driver number 41 Toyota for MDM Motorsports. We've got him here on the phone with us. Zane, how are you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. So a little bit of controversy last night in Salem between yourself and Michael Self. 3 separate incidents between the two of you, and then some words exchanged back in the garage area. So talk us through what happened from your point of view last night.
Yeah, so pretty much really early in the race, like, I don't know if anyone knows, but Salem is a big tire saving game there. And so usually there's about like 2 to 3 cars that'll go really hard, and you kind of just let them go and burn their stuff up. And we had seen that really early in the race, and I think I was in 2nd, and the 55 was coming, and my spotter and he was letting me know that he's digging pretty hard. So my plan is just to let him go, fall back in line, and let him burn his stuff up. And getting into one, I pointed my hand out the window, and coming off the corner, he hit me like a pretty good amount, and down all the backstretch, he was hit me. And so he gets in front of me, and so the same amount that he hit me coming off the corner, I hit him getting into 3 and 4, and he looped it, and no contact with the fence, he just looped it, and I mean, when he hit me, I almost looped it as well, but I saved mine and he looped his. So that's where it all started, and then I think it was a restart. Everyone got stickers on, and we lined up 3rd, and I got dumped coming off the corner, same spot he first got pole championship as well with my teammate. And so I come down pit road. I know I can see that the nose is punched up, and it knocked a hole in the radiator. And so said that we were done, and we fixed it. Went back out there and got payback.
And then afterward, in the garage, Michael came back to confront you. What exactly transpired in that exchange?
Well, when I was in the car, I was surrounded by everyone, and then I can't name names, but you should have heard the amount of people on the infield that said "Go wreck him." But so that was a pretty good build-up. That it wasn't just me thinking that. So I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, once he came over, I don't know, he tried grabbing me, and I grabbed him back, and then before I knew it, I mean, he was off me. So then they wanted us to talk, so we talked, and I mean, basically what I'm telling you, and we walked it through and said, dude, I'm mostly pissed off because I'm chasing a championship, and that's all down the drain now, just because of you. And he said, well, you got to realize I'm not chasing a championship. But, I mean, so if he wants to think that way, I can think that way also. If he's just going for one, I'm going to ruin his one race because he ruined my whole year at one race. So it's a stupid incident. So that's how, if he wants to look at it, that's how I'm going to look at it. And, I mean, he apologized to me, and I apologized to him. So, and then, honestly, there's Billy Venturini and Kevin Reed who can't control their emotions and everything. And they're all talking how I'm going to get a Hans check in the next two races. And, I mean, literally, they're all talking, and that's why they're where they are. So, I mean, instead of talking, just do it, in my opinion.
All right. Well, Zane, thanks for coming on tonight and sharing your side of this with us. I'm sure everyone appreciates getting your side of this as well on this whole incident.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Zane being pretty brutally honest there, not really holding anything back, basically admitted that the third incident on the night where he wrecked both of them after he'd gotten the car fixed was as payback. That was basically, as he said, his sole intention of going back out on the track was to get payback and basically end Michael Self's night. So that's up to you to decide now that you've heard Zane's point of view and where he's coming from for all this. Do you agree with him? Was he in the right for doing this? Was he not in the right? Was he wrong to do this and to take these matters into his own hands? That's up to you to decide. So now that we've heard from Zane Smith, now let's hear from Michael Self. We talked to him on Monday, and we'll see what Michael thought from his point of view, what happened in these three incidents and what happened down in the infield afterward. Let's take a look. And we're now joined by Michael Self, driver of the number 15 Toyota for Venturini Motorsports. Michael, how are you tonight?
Good, Gar. Thanks for having me back on.
Yeah, no problem. It's always fun to have you on.
I wish it was under the same circumstances as the last couple times.
Yeah, it's not quite the same circumstance, but talk us through that. Talk us through your night on Saturday night. You had, I believe, it was 3 separate incidents with Zane Smith on the night. Just talk us through those, all 3 of those, from your point of view.
Yeah, obviously not the night that how I wanted the night to end, and none of those incidents, which I wish we were a part of. Had a good Sinclair Oil number 55 Toyota that night, and big props again to the guys at Venturini for giving me another good car, and was having a lot of fun my first time there at Salem. Was really enjoying the track, and had a pretty solid day overall up until everything got going on. I think I kind of look at everything that happened starting from the beginning. I mean, I'll shoulder some blame absolutely right off the bat. I was racing really hard Saturday night. I was racing hard. I was racing aggressively. I was racing, frankly, how I felt like I raced in the K&N West Series a couple of years ago when I was racing guys like Derek Thorne, Eric Holmes, and David Mayhew. And those guys raced really hard. They raced hard, but it was a respectful hard. I mean, you can lean on each other, and you understand that you can get each other loose out of the corners and try and set yourself up for a pass. And passing at Salem is hard. I mean, it's hard to begin with there because you can get a run on a guy on the bottom through 1 and 2, but you can't really hold the bottom through 3 and 4. And I was, as obviously a lot of people that watched the race or that reached out said, I was racing too aggressively, and there's truth to that. I mean, I was racing aggressively, and so we look about lap 60 or whenever the first incident with Zane happened, and from my point of view, I was racing aggressively. I caught him. He was running for second place, and coming out of turn 2, I got him a little bit, loose coming up off the corner there, and he at the same time, simultaneously, he had pointed me by, and I don't know if he was pointing me by because I had caught up to him, or he was kind of letting me go because he was saving his tires, or if he pointed me by because I got into him and got him a little bit free off the corner. I didn't really think it was any harm, any foul or anything. So I went by him on the straightaway, and the next thing I know, in the middle of turn 3 and 4, I got shunted from behind and I ended up spinning. So luckily we didn't hit anything, didn't have any real damage to our car, and got it fired back up and got tucked back into line pretty quickly there. But I was frustrated. I mean, at the time I kind of looked at it as like, hey man, like you pointed me by, for whatever reason, you let me go, and then you attacked me. You let me go, and then you got me as soon as you could in the next corner. And granted, I understand I got you a little bit loose earlier on, and if you're trying to get payback, I understand that. If you want to get me back and get me a little bit loose, that's how I'm racing you. I'm happy with you racing me that way. But in my opinion, there's a bit of a difference between getting someone loose and getting to their rear bumper and pushing through their rear bumper after you've just let them by in the middle of a corner, and that's kind of uncalled for. And those two don't make a right, in my opinion. But wrecking people in general isn't right. I mean, there's not a situation where it's right if it's done intentionally. So, and I'm a victim of that in that situation. But I'm also I caused that the next time. I kind of let that get to my head a little bit too much, and we were still in a good spot, and so we got back going again and continued through the race. And I think we got back up to 5th, and Zane was running 3rd, and we had a restart there where the entire bottom lane checked up. The guy that had restarted 2nd didn't really get going all that quick. And then coming out of turn 2, we all kind of got into each other. It was kind of one of those accordion effects. And I got into Zane, and he got loose again. And frankly, I'll be honest, I saw him get loose. I didn't back off by any means because I was frustrated with what had happened before. And, I wouldn't say that I went into that corner full blown expecting to get payback or trying to wreck him or anything, but also once I got him a little bit loose, I tagged him again, and I did. I spun him around, and that's in hindsight, that's not the right thing to do. I've never been that guy. I've never want to be that guy. I don't believe in retaliation, and I don't believe in tearing up people's race cars, and that costs a lot of money. So that's on me. Something I wasn't really proud of. And, that ended Zane's night, which wasn't my intent by any means. I mean, I know he caught the inside guardrail and knocked the radiator out of his car, but at the time, we kept going and went green for a long run right there. Raced hard. We got ourselves back into the top 3 and was running in 3rd, and had caught the 28 trying to run for 2nd. And I saw the 41 back out on track and saw him rolling really, really slow. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, I know how this is going to go. And we went down in turn 1 and 2. Me and the 28 were racing hard for 2nd there. And I know the 41 took a shot and he missed. And then he didn't miss when we got down into 3. He wasn't going to miss. He was either going to miss, or if he did miss, he was going to destroy his car on the wall, but he didn't, and he got us in that one. And that ended both nights for good, and ended both of our chances in our cars in that one right there. So he got his retaliation in a big way.
Definitely. So then afterward, you were obviously pretty heated after that, and you went back into the garage to confront Zane. What exactly transpired during that whole situation in the infield?
Yeah, I was definitely was definitely steamed. I got out and walked over and got to his car, and at the time, with all the aggressions building up, I mean, you're thinking that you're gonna beat this guy's face in. I'll be honest. I mean, you don't have much else going through your head other than you kind of just got attacked, and I'm just gonna go get it right back, but I'm gonna do it in my way now. And I got to his car, and I reached in when he was still belted in and everything, kind of leaned my head in trying to talk, but I grabbed his face mask at the same time, and nothing productive was said. It was mostly just yelling, and then as soon as it started, it was over because I was getting dragged back off of him. But then we talked. I asked the ARCA officials, "Hey, can I talk to him reasonably here?" And that's usually not a very productive ending when that happens right after the wreck. It's usually not going to get anything productive out of that conversation. And we talked, and he blamed me and I blamed him. So nothing real productive came out of that one either. So I think at the end of it, we both apologized. I acknowledged I was probably racing too hard, and I get why he was frustrated with that. And I apologized for the retaliation that I gave him, and he apologized for the first time when he gave it to me. And I think we both probably will acknowledge now that we were both in the wrong at some point throughout the night. And it's hopefully, at least for me, I mean, you got to take it as a learning lesson, not a lesson that you're proud of, but as a lesson that you just kind of got to move past, and hope to just stay out of those situations in the future. It affects too many people that aren't directly related to the situation in negative ways. And it's not something that makes me proud, not something that makes my sponsors proud, and not something that makes the ARCA series proud. And all of those people have done a lot of good things this year. And so not a light that you really want to be portrayed in, but racing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Michael, thanks for joining us tonight and giving us your point of view on this. It's great to have your side of things on this as well.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for checking in and giving me the chance to talk a bit about it.
So there you have it. Michael Self, somewhat apologetic, shouldering some of the blame for the incident. So do you, now that you've seen both sides of this, who's in the right here? Is either one of them in the right? Are neither one of them in the right? Was this just short track racing, and that's what happens on a short track Saturday night? Let us know down in the comments. I want to know what the fans think about this. Who's in the right? Who's in the wrong? Is anybody in the right? Is anybody in the wrong? Are they both just, is it just racing? Let us know down in the comments. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think of this incident. Now that you've heard it from both of them, exactly what happened in their eyes, I want to know what you think about this. So leave it down in the comments below. Let us know what you think of this whole incident. Now that we've heard from both of them, they were both super gracious to come on and talk to us about it. I really appreciate them doing that. Again, a big thanks to both Zane Smith and Michael Self for coming on and chatting with us and talking about this. Probably not something they wanted to do an interview over, but we appreciate them coming on and actually talking with us about it nonetheless. So that'll do it for tonight's RNN News Break over the bit of a feud that started up Saturday night in Salem. And if you haven't done it already, you need to go down below, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. We are generally at most ARCA races, giving you live coverage from the track, talking to your favorite drivers. We will be at the two remaining ARCA races on the season, October 6th at Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis, and we'll be at Kansas Speedway on October 19th. So we've got you covered for the rest of the ARCA season. We will be there giving you everything from the track that you could probably possibly want. But you need to be subscribed to know about that. We don't post it anywhere generally that these interviews have happened. They just go up on the channel, and if you're subscribed and you have your notifications on, then you see that they happened, and you get to hear from your favorite driver. And if you don't get to hear from your favorite driver, let us know, and we will search them out and talk to them, get their thoughts on the weekend for you. So hit that big thumbs up button on this video if you enjoyed it. It is much appreciated when you do. So with that, this has been an RNN News Break. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.